Did the Chicago Bears ace the 2024 NFL Draft? We're going to talk about it here today. Really appreciate y'all tuning in to Rogue Football. I'm your host, Jordan DeLugo. If you enjoy the content here, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. So, talking about these Chicago Bears, they had the first pick, the ninth pick, 75, 122, and 144. They also made some big-time trades this offseason, giving up draft capital and even dating back to last year, traded for Keenan Allen, traded for Montez Sweat, Ryan Bates, Dan Feeney, N'Keal Harry. Obviously, I think bringing in Keenan Allen, Montez Sweat, those were huge moves. Ryan Bates, Dan Feeney, N'Keal Harry, they can potentially make an impact, but not nearly the same level of impact as Keenan Allen and Montez Sweat there, which were both huge additions to the Chicago Bears. Montez Sweat coming in last year, doing a really good job for them. And then Keenan Allen is just such a pro, one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL for a long time, one of the better guys, working out of the slot and just being a target hog for the Los Angeles Chargers for the last, decade or so. But looking at this draft, 1 overall, Caleb Williams. Ever heard of him? This is an A. This is an easy A, right? Like the Chicago Bears, they really didn't have any other choice. Like this was the pick. Caleb Williams has an unbelievable arm. His ability to put the football anywhere he wants on the field, from any platform, anywhere on the field, in a flash, it's unparalleled. Like he has superlative arm talent. He is an unbelievable overall talent. Like he's a magician, a wizard with the ball in his hands too, right? There are some things to clean up, right? A little bit loose with the ball, turning the football over, needs to continue to develop as a pocket passer, but there's more than enough examples of him sticking in the pocket, maneuvering throughout the pocket, having good pocket presence, working through reads. It's all on tape. It's all there. So I don't think that that's something he can't do. I think in that USC offense, though, it was a little bit more backyard football. I think you're going to get him in a little bit more structure, but then say, hey, Caleb, when you need to, make it happen. Make it happen, right? And I think he can, especially when you talk about the fact that with their ninth pick, they added Odunze to a wide receiver room that already had Keenan Allen and DJ Moore. Of course, you have some good weapons at the running back position and at tight end as well. Odunze at 9 overall, that is an A+. A+++. That's as good as it gets. This is a guy that in a lot of classes would be wide receiver 1. And he's a lot closer to wide receiver 1 in this class than I think some people realize. The reason I have Marvin Harrison Jr. ahead of him is because MHJ, I think, is a more advanced route runner, a little bit more explosive in and out of his breaks, and a guy who just, as soon as he saw the field, absolutely dominated in college. You can just see it. Odunze, he developed a little bit more, and he's still a young prospect. He's by no means like one of these older prospects coming out. He's still a young prospect. He still has room to grow as well. But the fact of the matter is he's 6'3", 215 pounds, runs in the 4.4s, can leap out of the gym, has great body control, can separate early and late in routes. I think he can be a yak guy more so than you saw in college because he's so physical and can break tackles. He can adjust to the ball in the air. He can track the ball down the field. I think he's a 3-level threat. I think he's an immediate, upper echelon receiver in this league. I think that's how good Odunze is going to be, especially when you talk about the fact that he's getting Caleb Williams throwing him the football and Keenan Allen and DJ Moore surrounding him in the wide receiver room, not only to help him on the field, but to help him grow and mature and become even more of a pro. I think he already practices and plays like a pro, but those guys are going to fast track that even more. So these first 2 picks, they're franchise changing. You've got unbelievable wide receiver talent and a quarterback who is going to be one of the most talented guys immediately stepping into the league. He has development, no doubt. He needs to develop in Caleb Williams, but from a pure talent standpoint, I just don't think there are many quarterbacks that have a better combination of arm talent and playmaking ability, both working outside of the pocket and throwing the ball down the field, and then also just running with it. Like Caleb Williams is a better athlete than given credit for. He makes people miss in space, incredibly creative. So I think that the Bears, it was a home run in round 1. And now because of some of those trades we talked about, they didn't have as much draft capital. They still made 5 draft picks. At 75 overall, offensive lineman Kieran Amagaji out of Yale, I think this was an awesome pick. right? This is a guy, I had a second round grade on him. So you're getting him in the third round. He's got all the length, athleticism, traits that you're looking for. I think that the tape is better than some of the other projecty tackles in this class. For me, certainly better than like Paul, or even I think better than Tyler Guyton, quite frankly. I think Kieran Amagaji, the ability to play tackle, the ability to play guard, the development that he's going to go through over the next couple years in Chicago, I really like that pick. And the good news is the Bears, they have a pretty good offensive line already. So he's not like he has to come in and be that starting left tackle right now. He can kind of work his way into the lineup potentially over time. And I think that that pick is an A. At 122, Tory Taylor, punter, right? This is early for a punter for me, but no one's going to care if he ends up being as good as he was in college. If he ends up being as good as he should be, is going to be a moot point. No one's going to look back at it and worry about it. But from a process standpoint, yes, I see the talent. No, I don't value punters in the fourth round. So it's a C plus because, again, if he is the player we think he is, and there's no reason to think he's not, he's going to be one of the best punters in the league. But again, a punter in the fourth round, that's a bit rich for me, especially when you don't have as many draft picks as you'd like. So that's a C plus. Very talented, but it's a special teamer. At 144, Austin Booker out of Kansas. For me, this is a B plus. Had he, tested a little bit better, this would probably be more in the A range. But still, at 144, I think it's a good swing because you see the traits on tape. You see the athleticism, the length. He has already a bag of pass rush moves. He has a spin move. He can use his length really well. He needs to develop physically. Like, he is undersized right now. He needs to put more mass on his frame. And if he does that, I think he has a chance to, at the very least, be a very, very good rotational pass rusher. And so to land that type of guy at 144 overall, yes, a little bit projecty, but this is the time of the draft to take a swing like that. So very good stuff there, in my opinion. I think the Bears did a really good job landing talent in this draft. Like, even though Tory Taylor is a special teamer, is a punter, he's about as talented as they come in that regard. And it's day 3. It's not like you're taking one like my Jaguars back in the day with Brian Anger in the 3rd round. The 4th round is still rich, but at least it's day 3, right? Again, you also made the trades for Keenan Allen and Montez Sweat that were huge for this draft class. You established some depth up front on the offensive line as well through some of these trades. Wide receiver depth in N'Keal Harry. For me, they get an A for landing those first 2 picks. Like, if they didn't do anything else in this class, they get an A for Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. It's just how it works. Like, those 2 guys are going to change this franchise for the better. And then you also do get Kieran Amagaji. You do get Austin Booker. And you got one of the best punters we've seen as a prospect in a while. So they're super talented. Obviously some risk in taking a punter that early, but no one will remember that. No one will remember where he's taken if he's as good as he's supposed to be. The bottom line, though, elite talents at quarterback and wide receiver are now in Chicago to go along with Keenan Allen, to go along with DJ Moore, all the offensive skill position talent they have. We're going to do season outlooks and predictions over the summer down the road, but I'll tell y'all right now, I think this is a team that is competing for their division and competing for the wild card. And yes, I know they share the same division with the Detroit Lions, who are the darling of the NFL right now, and the Green Bay Packers, who both of those teams gave the 49ers about as much as they can handle. I'm aware of that. That's how much I think of Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, the rest of this group. I just think it's fantastic. I think that offense is going to be dynamic. I think the defense is much improved over the last, calendar year. So it's going to be a lot of fun. This draft, though, it's a certified A. We will talk about the season predictions later on. But the Chicago Bears, they knocked this one out of the park, in my opinion. If you're a Bears fan, please let me know what you think about this draft. Drop a comment in the comment section below. And if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Y'all have a good one.